everybody? Welcome back to the Virtuosos, bringing you another video here. Just me and Damon this week. Damien is MIA. He gave up. He didn't give up too many times, so he done. He's done. I can't handle it no more. But more importantly, we're here to talk about the NBA play-in and who we think is going to win. This is from a guy that predicted that Mikal Bridges trade was going to be ass. It's a guy that been crying all day about David Griffin. Like, we get two different sides of the coin, but really it's the same coin. But before we start, I just want to get your thoughts about the play-in in general. It seems like better matchups compared to the last couple of years. Doesn't feel like it's like kind of an easier winner because the last couple of years, at least on the East side, it's feel like the winners haven't been too exciting. West, depending if LeBron's a 7 seed or the 8 seed.
The West one's been way better than the East.
The East has been terrible.
East has been terrible.
It's usually a blowout in the 9-10 game, and then 7-8 is like they're both gonna make it. So you already know.
Yeah.
But how do you feel about the play-in so far? Like, I guess now, since I feel like we're seeing more like a balanced NBA.
Hey man, my team made the playoffs twice off the play-in. I can't.
I love the play-in. Yo, middle name play-in.
Yo, I love the play-in. You know what I mean?
My favorite.
I'm like Jonas Valanciunas in the play-in, bro. Like I'm there.
Because in January you like shit. We just going to run.
You know what I mean? We're going to run. We get there. You know. But, I enjoy the play-in. It's like an extra like this week.
Mm-hmm.
You know, usually it's a week off before the playoffs.
Yeah.
You actually get basketball. Teams are healthy all of a sudden.
Mm-hmm.
We get some good games for the most part. Obviously in the East, it's like either the Hawks is getting smoked or the Heat smoking somebody. I don't know. It's kind of bad in the East, but I know in the West, like we get John Morant and the Grizzlies versus the Warriors.
Yeah.
We get, the Mavericks and Kings is kind of but
the only reason I don't like the Mavericks and the Kings matchup more so is basically because like we know how what those teams could have been.
Mm-hmm.
Like from the start of the year, like this is a team, the Mavericks, who were in the finals last year, and they had their star player Luka, and now you got Anthony Davis, who has not been playing the greatest of basketball, but he is still playing good basketball with the Mavs, but it's without Kyrie. Gaffer was hurt. Lively was hurt. Everybody was hurt. Like I don't know how they made it. The Suns, maybe made the business decision. Was like, hey. And we gotta win 2 games to get in. Like,
you know what I mean? We gotta play another, game
Blazers
or 2
probably
basketball.
did too. Blazers was right there. I think they were
Blazers right there. The 9 to 10 matchups. Them 9 to 10 matchups be wicked, man.
That was on some technicality shit for real.
Yeah. If I lose a 7 to 8 matchup, I'm upset because it's like, damn, you giving these motherfuckers a chance.
All right, well, guess I see the Thunder.
You know what I mean? It's like, damn, bro. But yeah, I've enjoyed the play-in so far and most of the games.
Yeah, so realistically, it's like the seeding was like the biggest thing for the play-in because like the Suns were automatically eliminated. I think like last week, Tuesday. Mm-hmm. So they were like already out. So it was like more of a seeding kind of thing. We had a couple good games in the last week of the season. I think people were saying like the biggest shot in NBA history is gonna be Harrison Barnes hitting that 3 to beat the Warriors. Changed everything. It really did because the Warriors, if they won another game, would have been the 6th seed playing against the Lakers, which would have maybe put them in a different spot mentally. But obviously, right now, as it stands, we're going to be talking about the first matchup, which is going to be the Atlanta Hawks visiting the Orlando Magic. Now, last year you were high on the Magic. I think we were still all together as a podcast. Like, all right, the Magic should probably like level out. Still should be like in that top 6 seed range. It didn't seem as a playing team. They're not a bad playing team. They're the 7th seed. How are you feeling about the Magic and Hawks matchup?
It's gonna be a grimy ass game. I'm not gonna lie,
96 to
man.
92 or maybe the Hawks run them off the court. I don't know.
This is gonna be a tough game because I feel like the Magic have the star power.
Mm-hmm.
Like I feel like Banchero in a game like this would like turn up. But I feel like the Hawks has been like they've been playing good basketball. Like they've been Zachary hooping.
Yeah, he's been playing really good since the All-Star break.
That motherfucker been hooping, man. Like Trae Young out there. It's like the Magic defensively to win one game is enough, but it's tough because they've been hurt.
A lot. I mean, I
some
don't think
guys
they played their starting 5 from day one.
Yeah, it's tough, man. It's tough. Like KCP ain't been doing that good. If I had to pick one right now, I'm gonna go with the Hawks. I think the
Yeah, I
Hawks
feel like the
will win
Hawks
this
are
one.
the hotter team.
The hotter team.
Magic have just been the Magic feel like the Hawks of the past. They just can't get together. They can't get healthy. They're just back and forth. But the Magic's defense, I want to say, has been good, but at the expense of very, very bad offense.
Yeah.
And I don't think that's sustainable to beat the Hawks. I think the Hawks' offense is too good. I think they got too many guys that can score 15 to 20 points. I mean, Onyeka is a great emergence. I mean, the fact that he took over for Clint Capella, the way he took over for Clint Capella was like enough for them. It happened a little later than they probably expected it to because he's been on that team. I think it's his 4th year now.
Yep.
So they probably wanted this to happen a lot sooner, but now they're allowed to, phase out Clint Capella, get that kind of like that stretch big in their lineup. And, Jalen Johnson being hurt really hurt this team because everybody thought they were a top 6 seed.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
But unfortunately, they don't have him. But Dyson Daniels, who was my pick for Defense Player of the Year, has been playing really good. My most improved player of the year as well. He's been just unbelievable. And I don't think they're going to give him both awards, obviously, because it's the NBA. Why would they? But I'm going to lean the Hawks. I do think they run the Magic off the court this game. I don't really think it's going to be as competitive as I could imagine it being, like if it was a regular season matchup. But like them knowing what's at stake is like playing against the Celtics or playing against the Cavs. I think the Hawks match up against both teams well. They're not going to beat either team, I don't think. But they match up against both teams well. So I mean, if I was them, I would obviously pick the Cavs because like the Celtics are defending champs. But at the same time,
you can't risk
I mean,
that.
it's not they haven't beat the Celtics before. They have. Next up, we got the Grizz visiting the Warriors. This is gonna be, I don't know. Maybe as I talk about it, I could probably pick my winner. But the winner will go on to face the Rockets. Who you got?
It's tough, man, because after what I seen from Golden State against the Clippers, it's like them motherfuckers have incompetent offensive players.
Yeah, that was
spacing
bad.
Ain't that good. Jimmy Butler plays a little too passive. Draymond is passive. And you're putting him on the court with Gary Payton. So it's like, yo, them three probably can't play together. Like, you know what I mean? But it's like Golden State at home, Steph Curry. So many questions mark was the Grizzlies.
Exactly.
New coach.
Yeah.
It's gonna be a new like kind of area for them to play in. New coach, John Morant, the new offense, all that. So I'm gonna lean towards the Warriors on this one, mainly because the Grizzlies, like I said, too many question marks. It's a one-game thing. Jaren Jackson may have 5 fouls, in the first and the second half, first half. So I think in a game like this, even though the Warriors have been winless in the play-in, I think this is the first time they win a game. I don't see them dropping 2 straight play-in games right now. So
I don't know.
That'd be that's
that would
crazy.
Be terrible
Man.
for the
But
NBA if they did.
That's OD, man. But I think for the Warriors to go out here and get this win after losing against the Clippers would be good for them. Kind of build momentum. And they've been one of the hotter teams since Jimmy Butler came there.
Yeah,
so
they've been killing it, and it's crazy because it just hasn't been enough.
It just hasn't been enough, man. They start off so bad. It's like, you know what I mean? They've been playing catch-up. So I'm going to go with the Warriors on this one.
Yeah. If everything worked out how it's supposed to work out, and we got what we were supposed to get when Jimmy Butler was asking for trades, and he was saying like he didn't prefer the Warriors, like maybe if he was a little bit more transparent, he'd have been going to stay a little bit sooner. So like that's like the downside that like they try to play the leverage game, and now they end up in the play-in against a Grizzlies team, like you said, new coach. I'm not really feeling Jaren Jackson right now. I mean, early to mid season, it was like I was like, all right, he's been stepping up. They can win games without Ja. They look all right. Desmond Bane has taken that step, but this defense, who sports a really high level defensive player like Jaren Jackson, can still get in moments where they're giving up 120, 130 points a game. Do I think the Warriors are capable of scoring that much? No. They don't have the ability to score that much, I think, as it stands. But if you take out Gary Payton for like a Moses Moody, or if you take out Draymond and some points for Kuminga, who were both not playing last game. They didn't play against the Clippers. And I don't know if they didn't think they were like
I think Moses Moody started, but he just did not play in the second half.
Yeah, that's what it was. Okay, so I'm like, I didn't see him. Like I was like, where the fuck is he at? Like you would think he'd be a better player right now than having Draymond and Gary Payton on the court at the same time with Jimmy Butler, who's getting guarded by Kawhi. I was like, that's hell. that ain't fun.
Kawhi was sliding, so I ain't gonna lie, he was sliding.
Kawhi was on his best behavior. he wanted the Nuggets bad, and I understand. So when I look at this matchup, John Morant, who's been better offensively, since the firing of Taylor Jenkins, he's been, a little bit better, marginally better. He's been, passing the ball at a high level. He's been scoring at a high level. But the problem is, I don't think this defense stops the bleeding enough anymore. Like they used to, and it seems like they were early in the season, and they just start getting up points and points. And that Wolves game just showed me that like when they go against a star, like they just can't. They can't do it. They can't beat them. So if it was like I have to pick a team, I would love to see the Grizzlies versus the Rockets because we think that's a great matchup. I think that's a matchup the Grizzlies could win. But if I had to say so, like obviously I do think that the Warriors just have the star power. They have the experience. They have guys, Jimmy Butler, Steph Curry, Draymond. Like those are guys that represented the NBA Finals for like most of the 2020s.
Yep.
So I'm gonna lean on the Warriors here to get it done with their star power, but something need to change those rotations. Those rotations are atrocious. They're terrible.
3 motherfuckers.
They're
that
looking
can't
like the
score.
Reapers out there
Like,
sometimes.
shit,
Just depending on the line.
Right, man.
Like, if I'm at guard and then no out there, and you know what I'm saying? Like, it look crazy. Then tomorrow, well not tomorrow, I'm sorry, Wednesday, kicking off with the Heat visiting the Bulls. Now these are the 9-10 matchups, which aren't as exciting, obviously, but I have a lot of good things to say about the Bulls. Actually, they've been a lot better. This is a spot where we thought Cooper Flag might have been a spot, might have been a play here. Instead, they played their ass off for the last couple months. Josh Giddey's been great. Kind of mellowed out a little bit. Not too crazy no more. He wouldn't do it against the Lakers and shit. Like he ain't playing against the Lakers every night, but he's been playing still really good. Kobe White's been playing really good. I just think they're a young team that probably is better served off being in that lottery. And I don't think they're going to throw this game just to be in the lottery for no reason because I don't think either of these teams are making it to the playoffs. Realistic, I just don't think so. But I'm actually going to lean the Heat here. I just think the Heat as a team coaching to like that extent, like who is going to make the better play, draw up the better schemes, get more stops, has the more, I guess smart play style to slow the game down when it's needed because the Bulls, they play fast.
Yeah, they play fast.
And I'm pretty sure they beat the Heat in the last week or so. They had an interesting game. But I think the Heat can actually keep up with the Bulls if they need to, and they can slow it down when they want to. The Bulls not in the same, so I don't think they can slow it down and have those smart plays. I just don't believe in the Bulls as they stand right now. I think they're still missing a couple of things.
Yep.
But they are playing really, really well. And I do think they have a chance to be in this spot maybe as a 7 or 8 seed next year. But right now, like I think them getting hot was also a little bit like fluky-ish because like I said, a lot of guys have mellowed out. But we'll have to see, like realistically, if they can win this game and they go against, a Magic team, that should be that would be real.
Yeah, that can't score.
Yeah, that'd be real interesting. I would say, but I'm gonna lean the Heat here though.
Yeah, I agree. I'm gonna go Heat here. I feel like the Heat should want to lose this game. I guess
they
like,
need
I'm
to
a
lose
Heat
this
fan.
game. Both teams need to lose this game.
Both of these teams need to lose this game, but I feel like in the playoffs, it's tough to play with intense amount of like pace, like going 130 miles per hour. It's tough to do that in like chaotic games like that. The Bulls find a way to be successful, but in a game, it's one game, and I trust Eric Spoelstra. Tyler Hero has been in this predicament before. Bam, maybe he plays more aggressive this game. But the wing players, Andrew Wiggins, he may be a factor this game.
Andrew Wiggins been playing great. When he's available, he's
yeah, he's been playing great. So I'm gonna go with the Heat on this one, just because it's a one-game scenario. They haven't been playing good as of lately. I think they've lost. I don't know how many Hawkins came off a 40-point game, but like besides that,
they went on like a fucking 9-game losing streak.
Yeah, them motherfuckers.
So they shouldn't be here.
Yeah, they here because the 11th through 15th seed is fucking awful. Yeah. So, shout out them.
37 wins shouldn't get you to play in, but it's up to the 10th seed. So like how many?
Yeah, so I'm gonna go with the Heat on this one though. But shout out the Bulls, man. They've had a good season.
I think this is a win-win season for them. I think they don't lose anything losing this game. Next up, final matchup of the original spots, we got Mavs versus Kings. Like I said, crazy how different both of these teams look compared to last year. I was always on the believer's side that the Kings probably would have to sell after that Warriors series. It's just tough to like rebound after that, and it was tough. And Fox eventually shipped out. But these two teams made the biggest trades and within 24 hours of each other. Fox sent out to San Antonio, and then Luka sent out to LA. So realistically, the fact that they're playing against each other is kind of cool, kind of like a poetic justice thing, like where they could be and where they should be, you know. But the Kings, they'll probably be here next year as well. I mean, they just unless they do something with Sabonis, this is where they just feel like they belong. They feel like they're a playing team. They just feel like that's where they are. They were performed 1 year, and now they're kind of like mellowing out. Malik Monk playing a point, you know, Sabonis kind of. I mean, sometimes he plays great. Sometimes he's, you know, just I don't know. He just looks like he's not interested in the game. It's weird because I didn't think this team would make the play-in. Like I said, the Suns not being a play-in is like still
That's
like
like
shocking.
that's diabolical.
Like I'm thinking that like they're gonna go hard and they're gonna eventually get like that 4 or 5 game win streak, and they just couldn't. So the fact that we got the Kings and the Mavs here feels a little off. Both teams like weird situations. I'm gonna lean the Mavericks here for the only reasons that I think Anthony Davis is going to have one of his better games as a Maverick so far. The only issue I do have with that is that what is their perimeter players gonna do? Like,
Yeah, they ain't
in a
gonna.
game like this where the Kings can just flood you with Zach LaVine, DeMar DeRozan, Malik Monk all shooting so many shots, like it's a lot to keep up with. It's just how incompetent those some of those shots can be. They all can't be hot, and we've seen it so many times with the Kings. They have a guy like, all right, today is DeRozan's day, another day it'd be LaVine's day, and then some day they're both off, and then Malik Monk goes off for like 25 or some shit. I just don't think this is either team is too structured right now to beat either the Warriors or the Grizzlies, but I will lean the Mavericks here.
Yeah, I'm gonna agree. I'm gonna go with the Mavericks. I think defensively, they're better. They've definitely got better. They were dealing with a lot of injuries, but I feel like their front court can kind of outweigh
Yeah.
the Kings' back court per se. And DeRozan don't really shoot that many threes, but Malik Monk and Zach LaVine, they can easily take 10 threes both this game because the Mavericks ain't gonna match that volume.
No.
But besides like fucking Klay Thompson, like
So that's why I like who the fuck is Klay even fucking guard.
You know what I mean? So it's tough to outmatch the 3-point volume, but I think if the Mavericks defend well, I think they got the better coach. I think they got the best player in this game. I think they have the more complete team.
Yeah.
I think AD is gonna have to lock in on both sides of the ball. It's going to be like a 30 and 15 game.
Yeah, it's
got to
be one of those vintage AD games.
Gotta be one of those
doesn't
games.
miss a shot, and he's hitting threes and shit, and he's just like he blocking all type of shots.
Yeah,
it gotta be one of those games.
Gotta be one of those games. My boy Najee Marshall been out there hooping, so
yeah, he's been.
I like the Mavericks in this game, but I wouldn't be surprised if Zach LaVine just fucking lights them up.
Yeah, I could see a situation where I don't know where like DeMar DeRozan comes out and has fucking 35.
Yeah,
and
some shit like that.
The Kings just have like one of those games where like they keep their foot in the gas, like which they rarely do.
But I do think they got the bigs. Like they could put fucking I think Gafford is back.
Gafford is back.
Yeah, Gafford. They could throw Gafford on some bonus, have AD on fucking DeRozan or some shit like that. Kind of take him out the game. So this is gonna have to be a LaVine and Monk game. But like I said, I think the Mavericks front court is just gonna be too much. So. Yeah. And Sabonis is not the best defender, and he's a great rebounder, but he rebounded, against other bigs. Rebounding against three bigs is crazy. Yeah. So I got the.
They could phase Sabonis out like completely. That'd be crazy because like they have the ability to do that. It's just can the Mavs sustain running two bigs against a team that can light them up from three? Like that's just the only thing. Because they got Keegan Murray who can take AD out the paint, and then you got Gafford in there alone with Sabonis, which I think Sabonis will have some success, but not a bunch where it's like, all right, Sabonis took over the game.
That motherfucker, fucking Klay Thompson gonna be guarding Keegan Murray.
It's gonna be a lot of weird ass.
He'll take that jump, man. He just
they are the same players that they all have been for the last couple of years. So we will have the Hawks moving on to face the Celtics. So that'd be a 2-7 spot. For the battle of the AC in the West, and then the West, the East will be the Magic versus the Heat, based on both of our predictions. And that's a nasty ass fucking game.
Another grimy ass game.
A nasty ass game. Now we'll have to probably come down to whether Tyler Hero comes out and lights shit up, or if Paolo Banchero and friends can both balance it out, where they both give you a lot of volume from the perimeter and can attack Bam Adebayo in the paint. Is that really something that I think is the best winning formula against the Heat? Not necessarily. You kind of need some backcourt presence there, but I think I want to say the Magic get in, And they play the Cavs again. Rematch from last year, but something tells me that like the Heat are getting in. Like this, please play
Yeah, it's
us.
like every year they do this shit, man.
It's just something tells me that the Heat I love the Magic and what they're trying to build, and the fact that they're one player away right now. But I don't know, man. Something tell me like the Heat, like Tyler Hero gonna come out and have like his best game. Bam's gonna get like a clutch block, steal some shit, out of nowhere. Duncan Robinson might have his best shooting game of the year. Anything can happen. Like the Heat are just that random where they could be the first team to come from a 10 seed to
make
the
the
play-in.
fucking
You know what I'm
yeah.
saying? So I would. I'm gonna say the Magic are gonna win because I do think they have the stars to align. I don't think they lose back to back playing games, but that'd be real humbling for them. I don't know where they would go from there. I don't know if they'll panic. I don't know if they end up shipping somebody off that might not need to right now. It's just a lot. But I'm gonna lean Magic here, but I wouldn't be surprised that he win that matchup.
Yeah, I agree. I'm gonna go Magic, just because again, I feel like you're gonna have the best player in the series, not in the series, in the game. And that's gonna be his time to take over. If you don't take over in the Hawks game, definitely got to go off in this game. They have a lot of shooting deficiencies.
Oh, yeah.
The Heat, they love to run zone.
This is shooting deficiency versus offensive handicap.
This is gonna be the most handy. They might not even put this shit on TV. Like, you know what I mean? Like, we gotta turn into some different shit. Like,
some nasty shit right there, man.
They might turn this game off for the fucking NFL mock draft. Or some shit, you know what I'm saying? But I got the Magic winning this one. I do think this is gonna be a offensive
just not
struggle.
watching this matchup. We ain't watching this.
Yeah, it's gonna be
watching Daredevil.
It's gonna be an offensive struggle, man. I ain't gonna lie, bro. It's gonna be an offensive struggle. I think the Magic gonna pull it out at the end. Again, I just feel like they got France and Ben Carroll.
Yeah,
kind of got that two duos compared to Hero and Bam.
It's gonna be hard to guard that for the Heat. I feel like.
Yeah, really hard to guard, man. Because I feel like Bam, offensively, he's changed his shot diet a little bit, but I feel like the Magic got a lot of players to throw at him, and he gonna be busy for 48 minutes against these.
He's
bigs.
gonna have to play all game.
He's gonna have to, it's gonna be tough for him. But I'm gonna go ahead.
This is the perfect game that like Jimmy Butler would have thrived in. Like,
this would have been a perfect game. Like, this grimy ass game. We need 2 buckets in 4 minutes. It'll be him. But I'm gonna get an edge to the Magic.
Next up, final match for the play-in, we got the 2 versus 7 seed locked up. We both picked the Warriors, so it'll be the Rockets versus the Warriors, and then the death matchup, who ends up facing the OKC Thunder, who seem to be in a really good spot right now. We would have the Memphis Grizzlies versus the Dallas Mavericks. I start by saying before everything happened with AD getting hurt, Gaff getting hurt, Kyrie getting hurt, like I was a firm believer that the Mavericks would cause a lot of trouble for the Thunder, and that they would be a team that would push them beyond their limits. When they needed a quick series, they would have a horrible time against them. Now that's shifted. There's no more Kyrie, so I don't think there's a chance in hell that they can beat a Thunder team, even if they do win. And I look at the Memphis Grizzlies. Like, the Grizzlies get in. We got Ja versus SGA. Okay, that could be exciting. You got Jaren Jackson versus Chet and Hartenstein. Those are both matchups I could see really panning out and being fun series for the Thunder, who are still title favorites and all that. But when I match them up against each other, it just feels like the Mavericks backcourt it's gonna get eaten up, especially against the Grizzlies. I mean, the Grizzlies are gonna combine for 50, 55 points in that backcourt. You gotta have another 80 special, Dinwiddie special, Najee Marshall special.
Yeah, this gotta be a crazy.
Daniel Gafford, elite offensive rebound. PJ Washington, elite shooting. That's too much for me. I'm just on the belief inside that if it came down to it, I would have to go with the Grizzlies, who have been playing better than the Mavericks overall. But it is what it is. The Mavericks should not be here for all the injuries that they had.
Yep.
They shouldn't be here for trading Luka. They should be disqualified from the whole shit.
Damn near, man.
Put them motherfuckers out the whole shit. Don't even put them in there. But I think the Grizzlies will probably run away with this one.
I agree with the Grizzlies winning. I think for the Mavericks' sake, they probably would want to win this game to be like, hey, we made the playoffs at least.
They need to win this game.
You know what I mean? We made the playoffs. We
traded
Luka. We lost Kyrie. we made the playoffs at least. But I just think John Morant and Desmond Bain is gonna be too much. You know, as compared to
for that backcourt's a lot to deal
compared to Malik Monk and Zach LaVine. I think the Grizzlies is better. I think they are more equipped. They got more guys defensively to throw at. You know, whoever the fuck the Mavericks guards is. They can like outscore even if the Mavericks like mash this game up and make it nasty and slow the game down. I think the Grizzlies have, Zach Edey isn't the quickest, but he's a big body out there. Jaren Jackson been playing good.
Yeah, if you need to put somebody on fucking Gafford for like 15 minutes or 16 minutes. Like,
this gonna be a Desmond Bain game. I don't think Jaren Jackson's gonna be able to do much, but I definitely think Desmond Bain, this gonna be a game for him to come out and score a lot and will his team home. So I'm gonna go with the Grizzlies on this one, but for the Mavericks' sake, and for as a fan, if I was a fan of this team, I would hope we win because that shit gonna be crazy, man.
Yeah, it's gonna look crazy, and if they do lose, I don't think it's out there on a possibility that they end up with like the 14th pick, and they can't even get somebody that even like matters for them in the long haul. So they'd be in a weird spot. Overall, though, I think this plan is like at least matchups you got to think about. It's not like we both have 10 seeds moving on to battle for the AC. Like that has never happened, I'm pretty sure. So seeing that on both sides, especially the East, who's been absolutely terrible in the playing games haven't even been fun. And so on the West side, we got some elite matchups to go against, the Rockets, who are a young team, and then the Thunder, who are a title favorite, like two opposite teams. But like, you don't really want to play either or. Like the Warriors, like I was gonna say, like the Warriors shouldn't want to play the Rockets, but they damn sure don't want to play the Thunder.
Yeah, I'd rather.
So it's like you also want to play the Rockets, but the Warriors have looked terrible against the Rockets overall. So it's like both sides. I don't know. I wouldn't be happy if I was the Warriors right now having to play in the play-in because of Harrison Barnes. But at the same time, you got a Dallas team who's blessed to be in the play-in, and if they get a chance to play the OKC Thunder, like if people outperform themselves, like they can push the Thunder like to their limits and then like really show like a blueprint to how to beat them. And that's a nightmare for them, in my personal opinion. I've been on that. If Dinwiddie somehow go to bed, wake up, I'm Kyrie Irving, oh shit, like then shit gonna be crazy.
It might get wicked out there, man.
Like, oh shit, I'm dialing back to 2021. Like, then we got a conversation to have. But until then, I like the Warriors versus the Rockets because I do want the Rockets to have some success in the playoffs, and I think it's a team that they could beat. And then the Thunder, I think, Grizzlies matchup will be the best matchup. It'll be a lot of offense. It could be, a fun series. You got SGA versus 𝗤𝙗. That's a great series. East side, the Cavs, who hold one seed, been dominating the East all year. They'll be playing against who I have the Magic, but I don't know. I wouldn't be surprised if the Heat are in that spot. And then you got the Celtics versus Hawks based off our predictions. And I think those are all like good matchups. I think that would solidify the first round as like a really good first round compared to the last 2-3 years or so. Especially for like the title contenders like the OKCs, the Celtics,
Damn,
but I mean, I don't want to call the Lakers the title contenders the last couple of years, but now I feel like they more so are. They even got a good matchup with the Wolves and whatnot. So there's a lot of good matchups going on all overall. Maybe when everything's actually set in stone, we can revisit our prediction like green screen, let you guys know how you feel about the playoff first round. You know what I'm saying? Going through the whole playoffs is a little bit crazy. Like not even a little bit crazy. It is crazy.
You know what I'm saying?
Because injuries happen day to day. So even predicting the whole series is kind of a lot. But we could do that for you. Revisiting, these 8 teams who have been very, very fortunate to be in this position they're in, or some of them are unfortunate to be in the position they're in. It's just how it is. And I'm glad the play-in exists because we get matchups like this that really shouldn't be happening. But they are. We're blessed to have them. We're happy to have them. And we hope that they're good matchups because if they're not, maybe they look at the play-in a little bit different.
It's going to be a bad look for the play-in, man.
If these matchups disappoint.
The play-in is damn near lose-lose. Like either the 10th seed finds a way to get in there, or it's
gonna be crazy.
A 7th seed team ends up falling completely out.
Yeah,
it's tough.
Imagine the Hawks just falling out.
It's fucking.
I'm sorry, the Magic falling out like we are predicting.
Yeah, like that's crazy, bro. But it's like, shit. If you can't win a game against, it's nerve wracking, man. Like the Pelicans been there for
Warriors
3
fall
years.
out, man. It's gonna be like, hey, bro. Suddenly we expand the playoffs, man.
Like, yo, that shit is
okay. Like OKC versus the Blazers. Fuck it, I don't give a fuck.
Like, damn.
The Warriors is getting in. The Warriors are getting in no matter what. So we'll have to see. We appreciate you guys for joining us. Make sure to leave a like, comment, subscribe if you like what you heard today. We'll see you guys on the next one.